Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing well. The weather is sunshiny. I like sunshiny days.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I'm of the mindset that good things happen on sunshiny days.
Yes, they do.
I mean, I know bad things can happen on sunshiny things, but, I like to be kind of more positive.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not always accurate to feel that way, but I try and feel more positive than negative.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to be negative? I don't want to be negative.
No. But we'll stick with yay, sunshiny. Though we're getting that time of year where I need to start with the sunshine and the warmer temperatures. I need to do more yard work, and I hate yard work.
Oh, I do too. So you know what I'm excited about?
What's that?
I'm excited about this new technology we have, these new microphones.
Oh, yes.
I'm really hoping that the listeners that we have
all five of
are
them
appreciating the new sound. These mics are great. I think they allow us to produce a much better sound. So okay. I hope the listeners enjoy that. And this is, of course, working our way towards having some better technology and getting on YouTube and being visual rather than just auditory.
Well,
so we're getting there. We're getting there. So if you're listening, watch for that. We will have some announcements about that coming shortly.
Though I wonder, we will test a theory of, can I, how they have the movie Ralph Broke the Internet?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Rod breaks YouTube with,
we'll see.
Not in a positive way, but, more of a, holy crap, you really do have a face for radio.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Well.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, okay, so I have had, maybe this is reaching into the realm of TMI, but I have had a horrible problem a large part of my life, and I tend to judge others.
No.
And I know, hard to believe. Huh? Yeah, shock, surprise. I am a judgy son of a bitch. And it's not.
I didn't want to say anything. It's just.
Well, and so I ran across this article. And it's kind of more of an op-ed thing than anything else. It's a guy by the name Rahib Hammoud. And when I looked up this guy to kind of explore a little bit about him, he's more like what we are. We're nobody special. We're not professionals. And this guy, you're
definitely more special than I am.
Well, just because I ran, Anyway, well, I guess there are different types of special.
I mean that in a good kind of way.
Well, thank you. You are too kind. Anyway, but this guy, Rahib. Rabih. Anyway, he's a lot like us, where he kind of shares a lot of his thoughts, his opinions, more than, having, a lot of the other stuff I get. They're professionals. They're, trained, educated professionals. But what I like about this guy, because he wrote this article titled, "When We Judge Others, We Reveal Our Secrets."
Yes.
And so, because I will admit, and I think it's partly due to familial upbringing.
Sure.
Where my parents would frequently make comments about people by the way they dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or what they would do or what they would say, not in necessarily a bad way. Well, I guess how else would you judge? But I guess judging isn't always, I don't know. Can judging be anything but bad?
I mean, I don't think we associate judging with, look at what great thing that person did. Right?
True.
We call that praise, right?
Okay.
That would be praise, and judging is more. Listen, you got it wrong. I've got it right. You got
Okay.
it wrong, right?
Okay.
That's the way I see judging. So it just depends, I suppose. But
Okay. So then maybe it would be fair to say that when you judge somebody, it's from a negative point of view rather than a positive.
right, you're projecting some kind of negativity on the other person. Right?
Okay. Okay, let me ask you this then. Would it be much of a jump to say that when you're judging somebody, that's also you're making an assumption? Or making an assumption is also judging?
I think it certainly can be, right? I mean, we don't always know everything about everybody else's lives, so I don't know that person's background. I don't know that person's thinking. As far as what their values are or any of those things, right? And all of that
Okay.
plays into who we become and how we act. So I don't really have an understanding of that unless I know that person pretty deeply.
Well, then I am really in trouble because I judge the crap out of people when I'm driving. I mean, hello, when the
Well,
light goes green, you better bloody well be pushing the accelerator because when you're driving down the road and you're on your dabbling phone, I'm judging you.
I think everybody does some judging on the highway, and I'm not sure that that's not entirely okay. But I think that oftentimes that probably does. Um, as we're getting to, right, that probably does say something about our own driving.
Well, okay, yeah, because Sherry does comment that I'm not arguably, I don't drive very well, but she's the one with the radar detector, not me.
Well, my wife says that I give her indigestion
Indigestion.
while I'm driving, and if she's eating, we were
Oh,
in California recently, and
okay.
we went by a Starbucks and picked up a breakfast sandwich, and we were headed to Disneyland,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and so I, of course, tried to avoid all the traffic going into Disneyland, and I cut ahead and got in front of everybody like a
Hmm.
jerk. And I'm sure that they judged me, and I deserved it. But her response was, "You give me indigestion. I shouldn't eat while you drive." So that's me. So you're probably judging me on the highway because
Oh,
that's how
well,
I am.
no, you actually, when I followed you from different places, no, I don't mind driving behind you because you actually drive fast and you move around the slow people. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, my mom always said that I tried the patience of a saint, and I didn't know what that meant for the longest time.
It wasn't a positive thing.
So, all right, well, coming back, sorry, went down the rabbit hole a bit on that one, but on this here, a lot of time he caught me when he said that 9 times out of 10, when we dislike or when we judge somebody, the fact is that we're judging them by our world view.
How else would we judge somebody?
Well, okay, fair enough. But when I judge somebody, and I'm sorry to say I do judge a lot. Maybe I need to wear a robe
Oh, you could get one.
because then I could be a judge.
Could do that.
Get me a gavel. But anyway, never mind. But I am very judgy, and I need to work on that. I need to slow down on that. But I do have a hard time because I'm going, well, why don't you do it this way? Well, why don't you do it that way? Well, hello, this is the way you need to do it. And when I was thinking of this, I thought of something, I I have to be cautious. And I'm not very good at this, but
Okay.
it kind of reminds me of like we were talking one time, you're yelling at your daughter for loading the dishwasher wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an infamous story. Judging how you unload the dishwasher is a very important parental skill. And by important, I mean not at all.
So, but I think about that, and I like this article because again, it made me slow down and stop and look at why. When I am, oh, why are you doing it that way? Well, why aren't you doing it this way? And I mean, I look at kids and I'm going, why didn't you do the assignment? I gave you the assignment. I gave you the whole class period to do the assignment. I gave you 65, 70 minutes to do a 30-minute assignment, and you still couldn't get it done.
But that's a valid question, right? And like as a teacher, it is my job to provide a grade, which is essentially a judgment of where you stand on that learning. And if you didn't do any of the learning, then yeah, you're going to get a 0. And I'm going to ask questions like that. Like I think that's a valid.
So that's not the same.
That I think that's valid, right? The intention is to find out why did you do that, and let's redirect you so that you don't do it again, because clearly it is wrong.
Okay, but if they are sitting there and they're having a hard time concentrating, because they're having a hard time focusing because their pet just passed away this morning. The one that they have had since, they were 4 years old, their favorite dog passed away. They can't concentrate. They can't think. Yep. Am I judging them because I don't know? Am I jumping to a conclusion? When I look at how...
I don't think so. I think you're judging in that case based on the result, right? We don't know everybody's situation for sure, right? But neither does the cop. And when they pull you over for going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, are they going to be all that interested in necessarily your backstory about why you were breaking the law? No, they don't really care about that. They're just going to give you the ticket because the judgment comes from the standard of this is the law. So the standard in teaching is you're going to do this assignment, and there's grade levels, right, that show us how we did on that assignment. Well, you didn't do it, so you got a 0.
So now, give me an example then of where judging somebody from not performing to our worldview would be like.
You're walking down the street or you're at the mall, right?
Okay.
And so you're walking around and you see people with clothing on that you just don't think they should be wearing, like in public. I mean, we might judge somebody based on their clothing, based on their hairstyle, based on how they're acting in the moment. But you're in a public space where it's not illegal, right? There's not like a legal standard to be associated with that. So why are we picking on them for how they want to express themselves?
Okay, because I will say that when I see people with their saggy bottom breeches,
sure,
and their pants are on their thighs, and you see that they've got Fruit of the Loom underwear, followed by athletic shorts, followed by a pair of jeans around their thighs.
Sure.
And it's and then they're walking around trying to hold their pants up. It's kind of like, pull your freaking pants up.
Sure.
But am I judging them then unfairly? Would that be kind of what this guy's talking about?
I mean, first of all, what's the point in judging them? They're going to walk by you and you're going to go in a different store and whatever. I mean, does it really affect your life? I guess is what I'm getting at. Is it an issue? So it frustrates you. It puts you in a thought process that has to do thinking about them and their clothing and the way that they're doing things. But in the end, does it do you any good?
No. Well, then what about work? Okay. Everybody works for a living. When I am at work, I am here to work. And my idea is that I'm going to put forth mostly my best effort every day. I'm here to work. I'm here to do my job.
Sure.
And when I see people who are being slappies, who are half-stepping, doing a well below average type of effort at work, and I start judging them, it's kind of like, look, if you don't want to do the job, then get the heck out of here so we can get somebody who can, somebody who will, somebody who wants to.
Yeah.
Am I applying then my worldview to them and then assessing or judging their work habits because they're not like mine? Would that be then what they're talking about here?
That sounds like a judgment, right?
I mean, because that would be different than judging my students in the classroom for doing a poor job because I don't know why this particular day they're not able to focus.
So the difference as I see it is, as a teacher, your job is to assess, or if we want to use that term, judge, the students' learning on the assignments and the units that you teach, right?
Okay.
The content. So you're judging their progress on the content, and that's your job, right?
Okay.
You're supposed to do that. That's how we get the students to learn, right? Make sure they're learning. And so, yes, there might be other teachers who are supposed to do the same thing, and maybe you see them as not doing it quite the same as you, or to the level that you would like them to do it. But the bottom line is it your job to decide how they should do it?
Okay.
It's not, right?
No, it's not. But
that's the job of an administrator, and so if
or a boss,
or a boss, or
okay.
in a different kind of place. So it's not your job to judge your coworker on that same level and how they're doing their job. It's the job of the supervisor of that person to make that call and do that and provide that judgment. So,
well, okay,
it's like we get out of place, right? If I'm walking through the mall and I see somebody that's not dressed the way I like, it's not my place to decide how they should dress.
True.
Right? That's not my thing. I could just go about my life, and you know what? Nothing will happen to me.
True. Fair enough. But does that influence, according to what this article is saying, or what this guy is commenting on, is that when we judge people at work, for example, it influences how friendly we are with them, how much we like them.
Oh, 100%.
And so what he's saying is part of this, these secrets that it reveals about us is that we don't like you because you don't conform to our view of the world.
Sure.
And so rather than looking at, how do you say, rather than, I don't know, looking at them and judging them for them,
right?
We're judging them based on us and what we would do in their spot. And so,
but that's what you just said, right? You said other teachers aren't doing their job. They're not performing to the level that you were.
Right.
You come to work and you expect to give it your all every day, and other people may not do that.
Well, because
in any given job, right?
But their idea of all, or their idea of prioritizing where they're going to spend and focus their energies, is different than mine. But I thought that was interesting. Why, all the different jobs I've had, why I get along with some and I don't get along with others.
Yeah.
And it's because, well, I get along with those who kind of have a similar mindset.
Right.
And so it was kind of eye-opening because I'd never considered why don't I get along with these people.
Sure.
And it's and so I like this. And he goes on a little bit further by talking about how this influences the people that are romantic partners.
Okay.
And how we not only pick our romantic partners, how we stay with them. It influences how we raise our children. And I was kind of like, wow, because I think about the number of times that Sherry and I have had conversations about things that her children do. And
now, are you suggesting that our worldview shapes how we do these things, or that?
Well, this is what he is saying, and that our worldview, how we judge others, can play a large part in how our interpersonal relationships with those that we love the most.
Sure.
And and again, it comes back to raising children. And he did not say this, but I interpreted as our worldview is based on how we were raised.
Yeah.
And so, I again, it was extremely eye-opening for me. I mean, I know this, and to me, this is very logical, which I guess is kind of why I found this an interesting, I don't know, I guess we could call it a blog that he wrote, as to how can we get better at this. because understanding it is one thing, but the idea of how to now that you're aware of this, what can you do better? And what he's saying is that we should look to be more open.
Yeah.
That when we're judging, well, if we don't change or better understand or incorporate why somebody else is doing what they're doing, look at it from a different perspective, well, then we're going to be stuck.
It's funny, as we talk about this, I'm thinking about some, various jargons. Actually, a lot of things I'm thinking about, but, back in the day, you always had this idea, well, think outside the box, right?
Okay.
Think outside the box is about, get outside your worldview on this issue at the moment.
Okay.
Think outside that and see if we can find a solution, right? Or, just a lot of ways where we think about how to change your mind, right? The growth mindset is another one that's much more recent, right? And growth mindset is all about changing your mind, expanding your thought process, expanding into other topics, or thinking about things differently than maybe you did before. And so it's like in society we know these things, right?
Yeah.
We know that we really shouldn't judge people, but we should instead try to expand our minds a little bit on various topics. Now, that doesn't mean you have to change your values.
No.
But in the end, I'm not responsible for somebody else's worldview or how they live their life, right? So that's not something that I necessarily need to spend any of my time considering or thinking about.
Well, and I think that's part of what he is including here in his article or story, is that it doesn't, in fact, he flat out says, this doesn't mean go ahead and accept whatever you come across, but it is, like you just said, be more open.
Mm-hmm.
Not to change your mind, not to say that you're wrong in what your assumptions, beliefs, or values are, just accept the person for who they are.
Sure.
And by doing so, that may potentially help you get along better,
Mm-hmm.
help your work satisfaction increase, your relationship satisfaction go up. I mean, I have, and again, I struggle with this, and I think that's the primary point of my enjoying this article or his blog, is because it really rang true that I am so fast to judge somebody, to make an assumption, to jump to a conclusion. I mean, I should be athletically fit for as many times as I jump to a conclusion, and make an not always accurate assumption based on a belief that is misplaced. Because again, I'm judging them, their action, the situation,
Sure.
the scenario from me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not me. And personally, I should be dang glad they aren't me.
I think it's very interesting, right? Like everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, and we judge the teams that we like to follow all the time, and yet very few of us would actually be able to get on that court or that field and play those games. But yet we jump right out there and talk about all the things that they should do to be better. We've never managed a team. We've never done any of those things. But I think that's true, right? I think it does show that there's something about us that we might need to work on. And I think the world, the secular world does this in business. They talk about things like growth mindset and things like that. Growth mindset is all about changing you, not changing other people, right? And ultimately, changing you might allow for leadership and things like that. But I think the religious side of the world, the spiritual side of the world, sees these same things, right? Now, I revert to Christian tradition on this because it's what I know. But and I'm not real good with chapter and verse. But like in the Bible, Jesus is in a scenario where people are stoning a person, right? And so they're asking Jesus, who should throw the first stone. And he's like, the one of you without the one who has no sin, right?
Cast the first stone.
Cast the first stone, right? And so there's lots of theological discussion around, like, because he's drawing in the sand, and
right.
There's some thinking that maybe he's like writing down a lot of their sins in the sand or something like that. But right, I mean, they're attacking somebody who likely has committed the same sin that they have just done too, but they're going to call him out, right? And so, oftentimes it reveals something about us. I mean, my issue with the dishwasher is, there's a lot of things that I did wrong, right? But I can call attention to something else, and so we find some escape in this other person's not as good as I am at something.
Well, in fact, I'm going to quote directly from this blog: "Judging others makes us feel better about ourselves," and maybe that is, and
which is a really sad way to come to be feeling better about yourself, by putting somebody else down.
And I think that how many times do we do that? I'm feeling horrible, so I want you to feel horrible with me, but for a different reason. And in the process, I might climb more to the top over your cold, dead corpse. Yeah, that's not healthy.
And probably most of the time, the judging isn't even in light and vocal towards the person. It's in our own heads.
Yeah.
And really all that's doing is cluttering our minds with negativity.
Well, yeah. And he ends this by saying people are who they are.
They are.
Everyone is as confused as you are. Or, well, I guess he says as we are, because we're all learning along the way.
Absolutely.
And again, I really enjoyed this because I just need to slow down, and I need to be more accepting of people. And I think maybe if I can be less judgmental, then maybe I will be a little bit happier and easier to get along with.
Well, I think that's true of all of us, right? I mean, we want to have a peaceful life.
Yeah.
We want to, everybody wants peace and harmony and all those things, or at least we hope they do, right? That would be a goal. But we clutter up our lives with these things, but we don't understand each other's life stories. We don't know the backstories to how we were raised, or the things that we've gone through in life. We don't know. There's people that have been abused. There's people that have been loved. There's people that have been abusers themselves. I mean, there's horrible situations that people may have been through. Your own story is that way. So, but if somebody doesn't know your story, right, they don't understand you.
True.
And so there's lots of things there that drive us to our worldview, to our, as we teach in our class, our socialization, right? I mean, that's what drives to that, and we just don't know. You can't walk through the mall and know everything about that person that's wearing those saggy jeans.
That is correct.
And it may just be that they can't afford a belt.
Well, then let me take you to JCPenney's.
Do you want a belt? Oh, you don't like that. You just want to wear your pants up. All right. Have a good day.
Yeah.
I mean, why does it bother us so much?
I don't know. And
I think maybe we all need to lighten up.
Well, and I will end with this. He says that maybe I need to lessen that hold on my own sense of righteousness. Oh, yeah. Well,
hey, it's a good topic. I mean, we all need to consider how we respond to other people.
And I will try and be better. And if I see you on the road, I will try and not honk at you.
No, you'll just pass at 90 miles an hour. But it's okay. I'm not judging you.
Good.
I'm probably right behind you.
All right. Well, then we'll call it a day. So until next time, hey, enjoy, and we'll see you.
All
I'm
right.
Rod.
I'm Scott.
Bye.
Bye bye.